Captain on the bridge.
All right, Caps, back on the bridge here again, and for tonight we will be taking out this beauty, the USS Enterprise A, aka Enterprise Refit, Connie Refit, which was, and I've mentioned this on stream a bunch of times, this was the second ship I saw in Star Trek, and which made me fall in love with the ships in the whole Star Trek universe. So last video we did the Stargazer, and it had the TMP elements, and I thought, you know what, let's go back to Connie Refit because she is a gorgeous, gorgeous ship. Now, I was never a fan, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, of the original Connie. I just never was. But when I saw, and this was the first ship I saw before the Connie. My first love is the Galaxy, but this was the second ship I saw. And this just screams Star Trek to me. It is so, I'll just say it outright, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful design. So I decided to go back onto the ship, put a sort of canon / theme build on her, and continue on with the TMP feels, because why not? I was able to get away with the USS Enterprise A because I actually saw someone name their ship that way, so we're going to do that from now on. And of course, we changed the registry to NCC 17001. I couldn't do 1701 because it is reserved. So anyways, what we'll do is we'll go over the build, weapons, space sets, consoles, traits, station DOFs, and then take it to ELITE ARGALA and see how it does. Here it is. Again, the USS Enterprise A, Temporal Light Cruiser. Now, this was the first Connie we got in game at a tier 6 level. After this was introduced to the game, they let all the Connies into the game. So, but this I had to get when I first heard it was coming out. And I'm very, very glad to have, I have no regrets. So this is what we're going to use tonight. What we decided to do was do a beam overload build, still using the pulse phasers that we used last night on the Stargazer. So, starting here with the 4 weapons, we have the pulse phaser beam arrays, again, Mark 15, crit DM damage 4, we got 4 of those. And then the gravimetric photon torpedo launcher, which is, Captain's one of my favorite torpedoes, but you know that I have already killed myself numerous times with this torpedo, but I don't care. I love this torp because it looks pretty. Period, point blank. That's why we continue to use it, even though I do kill myself with it. The space set here, nothing too different. So Elite Fleet Intervention Protomatter Deflector from your fleet colony. Your Prevailing Innervated Impulse from your competition rep. Mycela Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core, and Tilly's Review Pending Modified Shield. Again, both of these are from the Discovery rep. In our aft weapons, again, 2 more of those pulse phaser beam arrays. And then we're using the prolonged engagement photon torpedo in the aft. For devices, we have the Kobayashi Maru transponder, subspace field modulator, temporal negotiator, and some energy weapon candy for the plus 20% bonus energy weapon for 20 seconds. Consoles here, we have the bio neural infusion circuits from your low-buy store, the dynamic power redistributor module, or DPRM, from the Atlas, which is a lockbox ship. Again, this also gives us 19% directed energy damage and resistance rating, and it's a great oh crap button. We are pairing it still with the Point Defense Bombardment Warhead. It gives us plus 25% projectile damage and 1% critical chance. But of course, we pair this up with the DPRM. We get even more phaser damage for directed energy, 33%. Goodness. We're using Domino, plus 15% phaser damage, and it gives us weapon haste. And we'll explain why we're using this, because it is a beam overload build, because, well, we want to, when you activate beam overload, it slows down the firing rate, so you want to recover as much haste as possible. So we're using Domino to help us out with that. Plus, there's a bunch of other goodness with it. So there's a 25% fire cycle haste, plus 25% bonus all damage, plus 25% recharge speed for bridge officers, and plus 100% recharge speed for torpedo weapons. Not that bad. And of course, if you defeat a foe, you get plus 2 seconds duration added onto the Domino console. So that's not bad. We like that. We like that a lot. We're still using the Ordnance Accelerator, which is from your Gamma rep, for the goodness of the projectile and phaser damage here, plus 26.3. We decided to use the M6 computer because the icon itself looks like the aft of the Connie. But it also gives us plus 15% bonus all damage for 15 seconds, plus 25% cooldown reduction on tactical bridge officers, plus the 20% fire cycle haste for all weapons for 15 seconds. Not that bad. We cover more of our weapon haste through that console. Approaching Agony, we're using this for the plus 15% phaser damage and 1.5 critical chance. Our consoles down here, we have the Lorcator, or the Lorca's custom fire control from your Discovery rep, plus 3.9 critical chance. That's not that bad, and of course it gives us 157.5 Starship Shield Pen for our weapons. And of course, 3 of the vulnerability locators for phaser. I can speak English, I promise. Plus 39.4 phaser damage and plus 2% critical chance. This is from your Fleet Spire. These weapons I just bought off the exchange. I forgot to mention. So I just bought them off the exchange. And then when they first came out, so they were sort of cheapish then, but they are bound to account. So when I need to transfer them to another tune, any one of my tunes have access to it. Now for stats, it does give us crit chance of 45.6 and crit severity of 176.3. So not that bad. Not that bad. So traits, this is what we went with. Went with a good day to die, beam barrage, fragment of AI tech, self-modulating fire, superior beam training, use adaptive offense, unconventional systems, Terran targeting systems, intelligent agent attaché. I always feel like I'm going to screw that up when I start saying it. And the Boimler effect for our cooldown. Starship traits, this is what we have. We have entwined tactical matrices. This will give us a torp spread when we use our cannon scatter volley. But we also use a cannon scatter volley for preferential targeting. I'm going to say pre-targeting. So this will give us 100% bonus damage to beam overload when we hit this skill. So this is going to beef up our beam overload. And to extend our beam overload, we're going to use super weapon ingenuity. We're keeping that in because this is live and we have to make fun of ourselves. So that we're going to have this uptime as much as possible. Overpowered over guns. And of course, emergency weapon cycle for more fire cycle haste. Space rep, we have advanced targeting systems, magnified firepower, precision, tactical advantage, and Tyler's duality. For active space reps, we have our anti-time entanglement singularity, biomolecular shield generator, deploy sensor interface platform, quantum singularity manipulation, and refractory tetron cascade. The one thing that's unique about this ship is the stations. You only get four stations. You have a universal command, lieutenant commander, lieutenant commander tactical, a commander temporal eng, and then a lieutenant commander psi. This is what we came up with. Chemosite, left to right, top to bottom, attack pattern beta, concentrate firepower, so I have to be careful with my gravimetric torpedo. But we have it there because, captains, you know I love my concentrate firepower. Distributed targeting, and here you go. So the cannon scatter volley will increase our damage to our beam overload, but also give us a torp spread. Best of both worlds. And of course, our main damage dealer, beam overload 3. Emergency powered engines, emergency powered weapons, eject warp plasma, and recursive shearing, since we have that. And here in our side, we have tractor beam, scramble sensors, and photonic shockwave. And then our doofs, our dupes. So Neil Falconer, again to help us with increased damage versus the Borg, because we like saying hi to them nightly here. On Twitch, Elder Milikatan, increase space damage versus all. Space, we changed it up a little bit. We have an emergency condoff here, which again helps us to recharge evasive maneuvers when we hit emergency powered engines. Then we have this, an energy weapons officer that gives us a chance for beam overload to cause all attacks against the target to gain 30% shield penetration. Not bad. We still kept one projectile weapons officer to give us a chance for stacking crit severity when we fire projectiles. But we also added an energy weapons officer to chance for stacking crit chance buff on firing energy weapons. Delreen here. Space warfare specialist will give us increased damage versus the Borg. And 38 to 47, reduce other bridge officer ability cooldowns after using one. So there's the build. We're going to take it into an Elite Argala, see how she does. But first, we have to shout out our fellow captains here. We have Johnny in the USS Fighting. Never mind. Anthony Taylor, aka Dwayne, in the USS Bob Saget. Again, rip Bob Saget. Growing up, still love watching him on America's Funniest Videos and Full House. Rip Bob Saget. That's Dwayne's little ode to him. Johnny actually switched to the F. Scott Fitzgerald. We have our Kuyakama in his NX, and of course we have Nori in his Odyssey. So there are our fellow captains here. Shout out to you, Captain. We'll be back with them after we do this Elite Argala and see how this does. I think it'll do okay. So we'll go here, patrols. And we're going to imagine Picard's on this bridge. Just saying.
Ensign, take us out of here. Maximum warp.
Aye, sir.
Engage.
Right. So she should do well. No reason why not. But let's test her out anyways.
Tactical alert. Vessel approaching. Bearing 184, Mark 7.
All hands. Battle stations.
Weapons hot, deflectors to full.
Ooh, that looks pretty. That looks very pretty. We're going to save our major butts for the second group. Look how long that lasts. I love it. Woo! Torp spread. There's our first group. All right, we're gonna hit the second group. Here we go.
Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
Hit all our buffs here. Whew. Just eating through the hull.
Separate them and whittle down their numbers.
That looks so pretty. There's that group. Next group. You know, I wish that these ships would still be in service, because the Excelsior still is, at least in the TNG era. Because this ship does look just so gorgeous. Like, it really does look good. Whew.
You will stand down.
That was a large hit on that.
Sensors are picking up small habitations in some of the asteroids, possibly consistent with Volpol's temporary hideout.
Ooh. Get to our target here. That on. Ooh, that was a big explosion. Okay, next group. Where are you going? We're going to try to broadside to get most of our beams on our target. Our aft photon torpedo is almost like a 180 wide angle, so should help.
Picked up a tight beam transmission on a new frequency. We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance.
Whew. Just like never-ending beam overloads. I love it. And done. Last group already. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna fully buff up here. Let's see how long it takes us to take them down. Look at that, just through the shields. Okay, last two. Let's take them out here. Nah. There we go.
Excellent work.
Whew.
We'll send over a pacification
We have to admit,
party,
that
take the
looked
suspect into custody.
pretty. Alright, let's park over here. Let's take our selfies. Captains, if you don't know, that is our ship selfies that we love taking here.
Thank you for your assistance.
Excuse me, sir. Get back to you right after this. So we'll give our final thoughts. Parker right about there. Let's get close, like right there. There you go. There it is, Caps. A beam overload build that we put on the Connie refit. Again, Caps, this is my second love in the Star Trek universe. First time I saw this was when it was Space Dock, when Captain Kirk and the crew was heading up to it. They saw this ship, and it was just, it just, as a kid, I was in awe of how gorgeous this ship is. And it is indeed one of the best designs Star Trek has come out with, and it performed really well. It felt that we went through those groups no problem. Even with its limited station, we were able to help out the build here and maximize it as best as we could for what we want to try to do. And I think we totally got the look that we were going for, especially with the beam overload and the pulse phasers. Now, the only thing I don't like about the pulse phasers is the sound. Apparently, there was some trademark issues. I wish we could have the actual sounds that they use in movies, but it's a little thing. Visually, this thing looks stunning, and highly recommend it, captains. If you have the chance to get this ship, do get it. Now, this ship does come in the 10th anniversary legendary bundle, but it's a different version. I believe that one is a Miracle Worker version. This is a Temporal version. So regardless, it looks good and it feels great to fly. It is a very nimble ship and it performs great. Great enough for what we do here nightly on the bridge. So captains, I invite all of you to join us on the bridge here on Twitch for our nightly Pew Pew shenanigans. And also please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to our YouTube channel so that you see the builds that we do here on Twitch and share how we have fun on the bridge. On that note, we'll leave it on this.
Don't let them promote you. Don't let them transfer you. Don't let them do anything that takes you off the bridge of that ship, because while you're there, you can make a difference.